Manchester accent, but very sorry, folks. Hello and welcome everybody to the Ministry of Furniture at the Metal Box site in Neath. And more importantly, welcome to today's theme, which is Croeso I Dyfodol, Welcome to the Future, because today is all about where we're taking our business with your very, very kind support and generous support going forward over the next couple of years or so. A couple of items of housekeeping if I can. My health and safety guy, Big Al, who's the large chap, looking very health and safety if you see him. Won't forgive me if I don't read out, so could you please sign in and return your badge and sign out when you leave site. That's going to be important to us, just in case you get locked in the catacombs later on, and it's a big old place, trust me, if you get on the shop floor. No planned fire drills for today. If you hear a fire alarm, please vacate the building and go to the fire assembly point 1, which is straight outside. It's on the grass verge at the front of the building. If you've not already done it, could you select the presentation you wish to attend? We've got a maximum of 40 people on the shop floor under the guidance of our landlord and the council. So the events are being live streamed as well throughout the building. We're on this floor and we're on the floor directly above in our working showroom up there. So if you can't get onto the shop floor, feel free to grab a stream and look at it there. If you need to work while you're here, feel free to find a quiet area, guest Wi-Fi. I think, Luce, we are ministry guest, I'm guessing, ministry visitor, thanks Lucy. And password is Ministry House, all lowercase, Ministry House. We're no smoking site. We've got smoking shelter opposite if you need to go for some fresh air. If you do leave prior to the presentation you'd like to see, we can take your details and send you an email video. Coats and jackets can be left in reception. And it says here from Health and Safety, enjoy your day. That's compulsory. Yeah, okay at the back. Jane Brewer, I can see you there. Can see your little face there? You can hear us? Yeah. Okay. I think we're on max volume, to be honest. Okay, so first and foremost, I'll only be on for 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to hand to a good friend of ours. The first event is here today, and then we go into breakouts, and most of the speaking events are taking place on the Metal Box shop floor, which is directly through that wall there. Our stewards will marshal you to the events that you need to be at. There's a safe route out across the down and into the main entrance. A couple of personal thanks if I can. To Neath Town Council first and foremost, our landlords here, for allowing us to put this event on in what is still a factory that needs to be developed. And you can imagine all sort of health and safety stuff that came into play in trying to do that, and for refurbishing these absolutely magic offices. And we've done a few offices in our time, but this one was really plug and play for us, and they did an absolutely magnificent job of how this building was. The furniture's not bad as well. I'd like to also thank, and I can see I saw him there somewhere, Stephen Hunt, leader of the council. I couldn't see Simon Doyle, but I think Simon's amongst us. So there he is, there's Anne going here. Cabinet member for finance, performance, and social justice. Simon. Social justice for Glynneath, that's the way. The democratic process locally led to political changes, which saw the formation of the Rainbow Coalition. So a change in leadership at Neath Talbot. From the incumbent, or what was the incumbent party, to the Rainbow Coalition, which is an independent formation. And Simon says here, a political manifesto which promises to regenerate town centres and valley communities. Well, I would definitely vote for that one. But Metal Box first, though, please, Simon, if that's okay. Okay, on the site today, I want to thank Vortex IoT, Internet of Things, if you know what that is. I won't even try and explain, but that's about your to your walkie-talkie, by the sound of it. Safety Letterbox, who are on site this year, another great Neath-based business, family business, now owned by Wren's Europe, I think, and So Modular are here, Hale Construction, Jonathan and Charlotte I've seen certainly today. If you take the opportunity, Jonathan's offered it, to tour the Hale factory, you will see the art of the possible. Because Jonathan has been here, I think, for, I'm going to say a couple of years, Jonathan.
Year and a half.
Year and a half now. And he brings in trees at one end and puts out timber framed houses at the other. And if you're a manufacturer, it's something to see. It really is something to see. So, and a biomass burner like I've never seen in my life. I bore my staff by talking about the biomass burner. A couple of other thank yous. Andrew Scott Construction, thank you very much for downing tools today. I know you're on time for their deadline to for Talbot, but this was a building site, and they've allowed us to work or to visit safely today by stopping production. A couple of other people I've got that I'd like to thank here as well. Brian and Hayden at Capital Howard Foods, fantastic Welsh family business. I hope Brian doesn't mind me saying they're having a proper tough time of it in the pandemic, and bounced back and have supported us today with coffee and food and coffee machines and everything else. Multi-million pound business. Last time we got over 100 million pounds down across hands, so we're delighted to have you here with us today, Brian and Hayden. Thank you. It says here, Ospreys, Wales Grand Slam winner and British Lion, James Hook, is in the house.
Yeah.
Max, I googled him this morning, he's born in the lovely Welsh village of Norwich. It's true. And George North was King's Lynn, apparently. Also with us today, Osprey Scarlets, Claremont Dragons, Welsh Grand Slam and British Irish Lions winner, Representative Lee Byrne. Also representing Fab 4 Coffee and TPS Flooring. And sorry, Hooky, I should have said representing Acorn Recruitment today. My apologies, I'm standing down there as well. So, most importantly with Lee, you're very welcome, by the way. And Lee has promised to put this out through Andrea the News on the 10 o'clock tonight. Okay. And just lastly, in terms of who's here today, Tyra at Oseng Reach Reflection, a brilliant local business, a business close to our heart because Tyra is heavily involved in recycle, upcycle, remanufacturing of glass products. For those of you that are involved in specification, construction, I would urge you to talk to Tyra today. She's got an absolutely brilliant product and something that we're hoping to specify into a couple of projects that we're looking at currently. Speakers on the soapbox today, Simon Brennan, Head of Property Regeneration at Neath Talbot Council. That will be taking place on the shop floor. Stuart Moyes, now of Sam Consultancy, ex-deputy head and project manager at the 21st Century School project that we did in Kevin Syson, which hopefully you'll see on social media. Absolutely fantastic project. Stuart's going to be talking about what was good and what was bad and lessons learned around that project, which I think if you're involved in the construction industry is a must listen to. We've got Andrew Beadle with us today. Andrew, I hope I've got this right, Associate and Head of Education now, I think, from October the 1st at Powell Dobson Architects.
No, that's changed now.
Changed again. That was October the... What are you this week then?
Director of Education.
And you're covering a similar topic, but I guess from the architect's perspective and designing the school. Delighted to have with us today, she's commandeered that office there, Dr. Deborah Williams, who holds several non-exec positions at Principality Building Society, Milford Haven Port Authority, Careers Wales, but most importantly for me personally at the moment is currently chair of the GCRE Rail project, which is a huge project. I won't steal the thunder, straddling the Neath Talbot and Powys regions. If you get a chance to listen to what Deb's talking about there, you will be suitably impressed. I believe it to be the second largest infrastructure project in the UK at the moment. I think I've got that right. It seems to be very under the radar. I'm sure Deb will tell you why.
The Lice Valley.
The Lice Valley. it's a little bit in Powys as well, isn't it, Stephen?
Just a little bit, no. It's more in Powys, but yeah.
And last but not least, John Ray, Welsh Local Government Association. We wanted John to join us today because a project we did with John hot off the press. I think yesterday we found out for a Go Awards, procurement awards for the project at One Canal Parade, which we just had notification on yesterday. If Douglas Feely's here, I think he is the editor of Insider magazine. About time we won something, if you could influence that one. But the changes that was made in that building and the ways of working in that building was the inspirations to how we managed to do this one. So John is talking about the ups and downs and the challenges of hybrid working. which again will be something that I think is close to a lot of people's hearts and something we'd all be interested in, the challenges of hybrid working and changing to post-COVID workplace challenges. Okay, I'm not going to read out all the people who are visiting because most of them, or some of them, if you're not on there, sorry, the grid wasn't quite big enough. But this excellent exhibition kit was priced at £1,500. But yeah, we're joined by pretty much the whole of the SUSCAP contracting teams, gear construction, civil and our striking around here. Lots of people made in the end that are supposed to be here. And it looks like pretty much the whole of the business community is here as well. So I'm truly humbled by your attendance today. So just a couple of words on today's theme. Well, why are we doing this in the first place? I think most people in the room probably know the employee story, so I'm not going to go into that because we don't want to talk about the negative employee more and more because we're doing this with furniture. But we feel very, very passionately in our business, and I personally feel passionately about creating opportunities, jobs, and therefore wealth and well-being in the organisation. And you can only do that in my world, or the weapon I have, is to grow the business and to create opportunities to train and skill up and employ people. And that's my world. That's always been my world because I'm in manufacturing. So we do loose furniture, tables and chairs, for workplaces and education, and we manufacture fitted furniture for workplaces and education over in our Ostlevera site, which if you're not familiar with this area is about 10 miles in that direction into the Swansea Valley. We moved from our old premises. I can see some faces who joined us on that day, I know that the building was there, so we could co-locate and have the opportunity to move into a manufacturing site. We'll knock that wall there through behind Lucy, and hopefully the council support us, and hopefully if everything heads in the right direction, that will create up to 75 jobs in this region, which and hopefully I'll retire at some point. Mr. Surf wants to go on a cruise. On top of all of that, please have a look around upstairs. We're in modelling upstairs. We're project managing, we're doing all the things that you would expect a competent business to be doing in this sector. We are a business with social aims. We are the extra employed business who employs 40% of people who are furthest from the job market. But we're a really, really good business who's award winning for their ability to refurbish and transform workplaces. Okay, so I'm going to hand to a friend. 2 years ago, I don't think we could have come together in this way, so it's quite a celebration for us. And we've been looking, when we were looking for the speaker, we were also looking for somebody that could represent the metal box site as it was, so we managed to kill two birds with one stone. So standing in front of me is Damien, who used to work with me in Remploy, and he's brought his pal with him today, Sean. Sean, you worked on the metal box site for 31 years. So Sean is one of our special guests today, and we're going to try and get him out on the shop floor. I believe he said to me, I'm standing where your office was. But somebody else we found out the other day when we got to walk the site, it turned out they worked at a metal box, and that was our friend Max Boyce, who I'm going to introduce in a minute. Worked there for 5 years as an electrician down in the capital. So you know, did say to me, define the term working on Facebook the other day. So I want to introduce a friend of the business and a personal friend, or he told me he was anyway, Max Boyce at MBE. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for the warmth of the welcome. Can I say, G, that it was lovely to hear you speak. It was nice to see the trees changing colour, the trees as you went on. I didn't think I'd have to shave again this morning. It is, as you just said, it's amazing that I should be of the first songs I ever wrote when I left the collieries to come and work here. And a song called "Do Is Hard," and it's very apt, and it's appertaining to today. And the first verse is about really the metal box, or the last verse is about the metal box. In our little valley, they closed the colliery down, and the pit at Barrels is a supermarket now. Empty journeys red with rust, road to rest amongst the dust, and the pit at Barrels is a supermarket now. Because it's hard, dear, it's hard. It's harder than they will ever know, as they must take the blame for the price of coal's the same. But the pit at Barrels is a supermarket now. And then to the last verse, which incorporates this old metal box factory. To know the local magistrate who's got a job for me, there's only counting buttons in the metal box factory. We get coffee breaks and coffee breaks and coffee breaks and tea. And now I know those dusty minds have seen the last of me. Who'd have thought that 50 years later, I'd be coming back to that same factory, which is now closed, like the collieries in this valley, which empty the hills, the water, the world. 50 years later, I come back to see this factory close and see it open to become a Ministry of Furniture, and its first minister. Every ministry has to have a minister. He's he is a very special person. I got tremendous respect for him, not so much as a speaker, but a man of great drive and passion and belief, and you have to build the empire that he's built. And he's very special in as much as he's known by the initials, not by his name, but by his initials. Gee, not many people in the world are known by their initials. You are JFK, President of America. But little terrestrial being E.T. And now we have G. I didn't know his name until about 2 years ago. His name was G. And I looked up, somebody told me his name was Graham Hurst. And I looked up the name Graham Hurst because I'm very interested, in the last couple of years, I've been very interested in the origins of names and what they mean. I looked up the name Graham Hurst. It's actually an old Anglo-Saxon word, and Hurst means articulate, academic, and interesting. And Grey means not very. He is a very special person to me, and he's been so kind to my wife underneath. And I don't think we could have got through the pandemic without the help that Graham and the Ministry of Furniture helped us. I didn't think I'd ever come to Neath again, certainly not at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning. I said I'd never come to Neath again because about 3 years ago I parked my car in the car park at the city centre. Hell of a place. Now, this should change this to an underground car park. There's no place to park in it. I parked my car, I put my £6 in, and I came back 3 minutes after. 3 minutes after the allotted time, and there on my windscreen, a big thing splashed. Big £50 fine. 3 minutes. 3 minutes over the time. It's not like that in other towns. In Leicester, they found King Richard III. They found King Richard III in a car park in Leicester. He'd been there 500 years. And he got off, and in this town, and he put down so much. 3 minutes cost him 60. The Graham has asked me actually he's very fond of poetry, you wouldn't think so, but he is. And he's asked me, before I actually cut the ribbon downstairs, to recite the thing I wrote during the pandemic, which affected us all in some way or other, in industry and in our own lives. And he's asked me to read this and maybe dedicate it to all the people that worked through it and those who lost their lives during the pandemic, which affected, as I say, industry and all of us so much. It's called When Just the Tide Went Out. And I'd like to wish the Ministry of, I keep saying Ministry of Defence. That sounds right. Anyway, I'd like to, as I dedicate this opening of this wonderful new complex. And I wrote at the height, as I said, of the COVID pandemic. Last night, as I lay sleeping, when dreams came vast to me, I dreamt I saw Jerusalem beside a tideless sea, And one dream I'll remember as the stars began to fall was Banksy painting Alan Wynne on my neighbour's garage wall. And dreams like that sustain me till these darkest times are past, and chase away the shadows no caring night should cast. But times like that can shine a light as hardship often can, to see the best in people and the good there is in man. And I remember Swansea with nobody about, when the shops were closed like Sunday, and just the tide went out. And I remember Mumbles with the harbour in its keep, and the little boats at anchor that fished the waters deep. And I heard the seabirds calling as the gulls all wheeled about, but all the town was sleeping now, and just the tide went out. So when these days are over and memories remain of children painting rainbows and the sun shone through the rain, and I remember nurses who stretched all the pain, and hope they never get to see a time like that again. And I remember Swansea with nobody about, when the shops are closed like Sunday, and just the tide went out. And I prayed that time for Boris, when he knocked on heaven's door, and I thought of voting Tory, which I'd never done before. And though the sun was shining, I had no immediate plans, so I write a book on staying in and ways to wash your hands. And I was there in lockdown, more weeks of staying in. I was running out of vodka, so I started on the gin. And my neighbours were complaining, I heard them scream and shout, with the noise the bins are making when they took the empties out. And I remember Swansea with nobody about, when the shops are closed like Sunday and just the tide went out. Some wanted Christmas cancelled, but the piper calls the tune, and hark the hell of angels sing wouldn't sound the same in June. So I'll wait here for my vaccine, though I know with some delay, so I'll order mine on Amazon. I got it yesterday. And when all this is over and our fragile world survives, I hope that God is caring now for the ones who give their lives. And I pray we'll find an answer, for my faith is cast in doubt, and God draws back the heavens, and all the stars come out. And I'll remember mornings with nobody about, when the shops are closed like Sunday, and just the tide went out. Time is running out, and all I think we can cut the ribbon downstairs. So I wish our previous speaker, I wish Gia and the Ministry of Furniture all success. It's no more than they deserve. Promise me you won't get stuff into
Okay, so that we finishes proceedings in here, so we're going to make a move to whatever it says on the agenda. My apologies if we're running a little bit late in schedule. Our next speaker she's got the reason set it. So feel free to make yourself to mingle in the office, to understand what's going on here and talk to as many people as possible. And if you are about to join the next session,